Some absolutely crazy things happen in his next issue, with the Justice League fighting Godzilla and the Titans, even hinting at Superman's return and rematch from him previously getting laid out before by the Big G. Now my name is AJ and let's get into it. So the issue initially picks up with the Justice League on the Watchtower, giving to us basically a recap of what happened and what's going on, with Cyborg saying Superman is down, Supergirl is missing, and Shazam is likely kidnapped and a hostage of the Legion of Doom. And they're no closer to finding Toyman, who is really not important right now, and the Dreamstone. And if you don't know what the Dreamstone is, it's basically an artifact in the DC universe, which whoever has possession of it can, as the name suggests, dream things into reality. And that was the exact item used to bring Godzilla and the other Titans to the DC universe. But even though that is all bad news, there is some hope. See, recently Godzilla attacked Atlantis, and after fighting the Kraken and a whole other series of events, they were able to imprison him. Now you might say, okay, well, how do you imprison the king of the monsters, Godzilla? Well, they use nth metal. Now, if you know nothing about nth metal, let me give it to you in simple terms. It's basically a super durable metal that originated in a dark multiverse that has certain magical or not properties. And even that little explanation in and of itself isn't really simple. But moving on, Aquaman explains that Godzilla is trapped in the depths of the ocean, in the metal chains that he has not been able to break. But they have also not been able to hurt Godzilla, so it's kind of like an ultimate stalemate. But unfortunately, all the other Titans are heading towards Metropolis. So not only do they have to worry about the rest of the Titans, but also the League of Assassins and Legion of Doom. So they definitely have their hands full with problems. So they prepare for battle. And as they continue to strategize and talk, Batman goes over to where Superman's resting pod is, after he had a one-on-one battle with Godzilla, doing pretty decently until he had to protect Shazam, opening himself for an attack and getting hit. But as we see Lois Lane there, still grieving her fiancé, Superman, who was now in a coma, she suddenly opens her eyes and sees that his body is gone, which this will come into play a little later. Moving on, we pick up in the heart of Metropolis, where we see Lex Luthor piloting Mechagodzilla, in which he had the building plans to and he put back together. And for what purpose? Well, all the other Titans bowed down to the most powerful Titan. And so with Godzilla missing and captured under the sea, Mechagodzilla will be the next apex predator and Titan they will bow down to. So Lex was planning to take control of the other Titans to crush the Justice League or whatever he had his mind set on, and he would have been successful in it if suddenly he didn't look up and see Batman with his own giant robot. And not only did he come with his own Megazord, but he came with the rest of the League, consisting of 2 Wonder Girls, 5 different Green Lanterns, and Aquaman. Also, I just want to say I think it's super funny that Batman just has all the plans and parts for some of these giant things. Like, imagine if he used it on a more consistent basis. Think about being a random crook in Gotham, after doing a carjacking or something, and looking up and seeing this 300-foot giant robot getting ready to pulverize you. But we see inside of the robot, Flash and Cyborg also helping to power the thing, with it being revealed that it was a team effort in constructing this giant bot in such a really short amount of time. And so as they press forward, all-out battle breaks loose, with Batman fighting Mechagodzilla and the rest of the League taking the 3 other Titans. And so if you think we couldn't get enough giant robots, suddenly the Green Lanterns plan something. They put together their own robot called the Green Lantern Robo, which, by the way, this consists of 5 different lanterns, all using their willpower into one construct, meaning this should theoretically be pretty powerful. And we see the Green Lanterns and the rest of the League going to towns on the rest of the Titans, but Lex and the rest of the Titans get reinforcements in the form of the Legion of Doom, consisting of various different supervillains. And as everybody continues to battle, suddenly new people enter the battlefield again. This time it's Supergirl attacking the League, and with Wonder Woman being rightfully confused, we look up and see Gorilla Grodd using a piece of kryptonite along with his telepathic abilities to mind control Supergirl, with King Kong in the back. And suddenly things are not looking good for the Justice League at all, especially a Justice League without the heavy hitters such as Superman or Shazam. And with Supergirl being their enemies, suddenly we see King Kong go to fight the giant Green Lantern robot, with them trading blows, but eventually Kong gets the upper hand, ripping one of its arms off. That specific arm being Guy Gardner. And as he falls to the ground, he looks up and sees Gorilla Grodd and the rest of the Legion of Doom rushing forward. But things do not look good for him, as Gorilla Grodd stomps on his head, killing him with a devastating crack. And as the other Lanterns watch this, in the split second their willpower falters. And if you know anything about Green Lanterns, their whole ability runs on will. So if suddenly their will goes down, their constructs get weaker, which we see even King Kong take advantage of this, shattering their giant robot. And as the skirmishes and battles continue to go out, we see King Kong enter Mechagodzilla's and Batman's mech fight, with the two ganging up on Batman, knocking him down, as Beast Boy watches from the sideline. And so what does Beast Boy do? He literally gets his own King Kong transformation, turning into a giant green ape, which I just want to say, since this is possible, do you think it's also possible for him to have his own Godzilla transformation? As Godzilla in the Monsterverse, I'm pretty sure is its own species, but maybe that might not be possible as he is also radioactively mutated. But before anything can even happen with this interesting form, he literally just gets one shot by Supergirl, taking him out of the fight. And with Hal Jordan saying we have to do something about Supergirl or she's going to pick us off one by one, just showing you how powerful a rogue Kryptonian can be. And as they realize it's Gorilla Grodd controlling her, they focus their efforts on him, distracting, then taking him out, shooting the kryptonite headpiece off of him, freeing Supergirl. And keep in mind, he was only mind controlling Supergirl. King Kong is only there fighting against the Justice League because he kinda has a crush on Supergirl and is just following her move. It's not really explained properly, but that's what I'm going with. And if you think things weren't bad enough, more people enter the battlefield again. As Wonder Woman points out, the League of Assassins, and they brought the Skull Crawlers. And with the Justice League barely hanging on by a thread, this new entry into the battlefield might spell the end for them if they themselves don't lock in and get some help. But the answer they might have been looking for may appear as we cut over and see something moving way too fast plunge into the ocean, heading towards Godzilla, who is still chained down there. And that being is none other than the last son of Krypton, Superman, who is fully healed up and might be even stronger, as the pod he was in earlier and escaped from bombarded him with solar rays and energies, bringing him back to full health and maybe even giving him a little amp, making him stronger. As he says, we have unfinished business to Godzilla, implying that there might be another fight and rematch to truly settle who is stronger. But that's the end of this issue here. What do you guys think, and where do you think it's heading? Do you think Superman and Godzilla will actually get that rematch, or do you think they will put aside their differences and fight against the bigger picture, the Legion of Doom and League of Assassins? But I highly doubt that it's going to be an actual full-on battle. Most likely it's probably going to be a short skirmish with an undecided winner, as they then team up to fight the real villains, which even if they did come to fight, realistically Superman should watch Godzilla, specifically this version, who is supposed to be the movie Monsterverse version, and this Superman is a baseline comic Superman, even though that the story is non-canon to both universes anyway, so it doesn't matter. Because honestly, the power levels throughout this whole entire crossover are wildly all over the place. With Guy Gardner just dying to Gorilla Grodd easily, Superman himself being instantly taken out by one blast, Shazam being beat down by some random fodder villain, yeah, you can definitely tell that the power levels aren't the same as their main DC counterparts. But what do you think would actually win between Godzilla and Superman if they actually came head to head in a full-on fight? Also, side note, but I think it was a super missed opportunity showing Beast Boy has the power and capabilities to morph into a Titan, such as what he did with King Kong, and not let him transform into any other Titan. Cause even if he couldn't turn into, say, a Godzilla, just seeing him as the other ones would be cool and add extra power on the team. Let me know your thoughts all down below. As always, leave a like or subscribe if you're new, and thank you for watching.